Good morning, Year 2. So today we're going to be doing some guided reading. Now, just like we do in the classroom, we're going to have a chapter every day, and every day there's going to be some questions for you to answer about what we've just read. Now, when you're answering the questions, if you can't remember something, you can always go back in the video and listen to the story again. I'm going to go through the questions at the end of this video, and then you can have a go at answering them on the sheet. Let's have a look at our book. So our book is called The Frankenstein Teacher. And as we read it, we're going to be thinking about all our different reciprocal reading skills: inferring, clarifying, predicting, visualizing, questioning, and retrieving information from the text. So I want you to have a good look at the front cover. And then, first thing I want you to do is to pause the video in just a moment and write just one sentence about what you think this story might be about. Use the title to help you. It's called The Frankenstein Teacher, and use the picture on the front cover. So pause the video now and write a sentence predicting what might happen. We're going to read the first chapter today, and then there are some questions. Chapter 1. High in the spooky mountains, a spooky storm was raging. In the heart of that spooky storm, there stood a spooky old castle. In that spooky old castle, there was a spooky laboratory. And in that spooky laboratory, something very, very spooky was going on. Vast vats were hubbling and bubbling. Enormous machines were humming and thrumming. Colossal coils were whizzing and fizzing. And right in the middle of all that sound and fury was the Doctor. At last, the moment is near. He pulled a massive lever. The roof opened wide to the night, and the wild wind came whistling in. Thunder crashed, lightning flashed, and zapped onto a metal rod. It sizzled down the wall, scorched across the floor, and jumped once more straight into a strange shape under a sheet. The Doctor threw some switches, bright sparks flew, choking smoke billowed, and the Doctor checked his dials. He looked around, and then he smiled. Beneath the sheet, there were definitely some twitches. My creation lives! Have a careful look at that picture, see what you can see. What do you think might be under the sheet? Let's find out. Suddenly, the shape sat up and the sheet fell away. A hideous creature was revealed. The creature rose to its giant feet. It stamped stiffly towards the Doctor. It reached out its giant hands. It moaned and it groaned. Speak! What do you have to say, my creature? Outside, the storm was passing and the wind was dying down. I want to be, the creature growled, a teacher. Are you sure about that? Said the Doctor, a bit surprised. Absolutely, said the creature, its eyes gleaming. Well, it's your funeral, said the Doctor, and shrugged. He turned the machines off and put the kettle on. Personally, I can't stand kids, and I can't think of a worse job. But somebody's got to do it, I suppose. That's the Doctor talking. So the Doctor got the creature into teacher training college. The creature worked hard, and one day he wasn't just a creature anymore. He had a posh bit of paper that said he was the Frankenstein teacher. Now all he needed was a class to teach. Right, let's have a look at these questions then. We're going to read chapter 2 tomorrow. So the first question is a clarifying Connor question because it's asking you about a word. It says, what is a laboratory? That's your first question. So you're clarifying the meaning of the word laboratory. Now, question 2 says, what do you notice about the sentence? Machines were humming and thrumming. Machines were humming and thrumming. And it asks you, is that alliteration, rhyming, an expanded noun phrase, or are there adverbs in that sentence? So have a think about the words humming and thrumming. For question 3, it asks you, why do you think that the Doctor is making a monster? Why is he doing it? Why do you think he's chosen to do that? Now there you're being an inferring Isabel, because you've got to be a bit of a detective and have a think about why he might want to make a monster. For question 4, we're doing some more clarifying, because it's asking you, what does hideous mean? The shape sat up and the sheep fell away. A hideous creature was revealed. What does it mean to say the monster is hideous? For number 4, you need to have a look at this page because it's asking you, why doesn't the Doctor want to be a teacher? So have a careful read and see if you can find the answer there. You've got to do a bit of retrieval there. You're finding the answer in the text. Now for the next bit, we're moving on to a bit of predicting because we don't know what's going to happen next in this story. And question 6 says, do you think the monster will be a good teacher? Why or why not? So you can't just say yes or no. You've got to say why you think the monster will be a good teacher or why do you think he'll be a bad teacher. And finally, the last question is, how are the Doctor and the monster different? And you have to think of 3 reasons they're different. So you could possibly talk about what they look like. You could talk about what they do. You could talk about what's happened in the story so far. So how are they different? And then finally, the last question, question number 8, is a summarising Sally question. I don't actually have summarising Sally in my pictures. But for summarising Sally, you have to say what's happened so far. Now, there's a bit of writing here, but I don't want you to just copy it out. I want you to think carefully and just write 3, maybe 4 sentences about what has happened so far in the story. And we'll carry on with chapter 2 tomorrow. Right, good luck, enjoy, I'll speak to you later.